All right, Aidan, welcome. Echoes in Eternity is what we're
Mm.
primarily here to speak about, and a new single. However, I did want to start with going all the way back to the very beginning in 2017, late 2016, early 2017, when you did your first album for Apophis,
Yeah.
Under a Godless Moon. I did a review for your album for you, and then it's taken us 8, 9 years to get to this stage where we actually speak to each other.
I know, right? Crazy.
Fucking long time.
No, it's
But it has
crazy.
been a journey that you've gone on from there through your different incarnations. So, I mean, can you give us a bit of a history and a backstory to who Aidan is from 2017 to 2026?
Yeah. So Apophis, as you knew, was my solo project, instrumental stuff. Because before that, I was in other bands. Like I was in, they're now called Skyhammer, but back in the day, that was Zero Hour. And then I went off. I basically left the metal scene for a while because I became a chef. So I was cooking. So I didn't have time to be in a band. And then went, you know what? I'm going to go off and do this record. And then you reviewed it. And then I did a couple of other ones. And then I was in a black metal band for a while, Tan and Ivor. And then I reckon it was right in like early 2020, 2021, Lee got in contact with me. And he goes, "Hey, what are you up to these days?" I'm like, "Oh, not much." He goes, "Oh, cool, let's do some music." And then Apophis was basically this turn.
Sorry.
Oh, so it's just kind of funny how, like, Apophis has kind of turned into Echoes, just with
Yeah.
vocals.
Well, I mean, because yeah, I mean, I've got that in mind. I haven't got exactly that in my notes there, but in terms of the timing, you get that because you complete that trilogy
Yeah.
essentially the same time Echoes kicks in. But Echoes on that as well. You go and do the album, and then he's kind of disappeared for a couple of years as well.
Yeah.
And then you come back last year with
Yeah.
Funeral World. So, I mean, what happened in that little spell where there was nothing there?
Well, I'm at university doing teaching and doing my degrees and stuff. So I kind of just needed some time away. And, we did, like with Echoes, we did that first EP, and then we did a bunch of singles, and then we did the record, and then I kind of got burnt out on it and went, you know what, I needed a break and all this sort of stuff. And then that turned into like 2 years. And then once again, Lee contacted me out of the blue, going, "Hey man, you want to do Echoes again?" I think it was like because we had a few moments with like Dino and Fear Factory tweeting about Echoes a couple of times, and Lee retweeted one of them on one of the anniversary days, and he put it up on like I think it was on TikTok or somewhere, and he wrote it, and they're going, "Hey Aiden, if you ever see this, get in contact with me. Let's go." And I was sort of like, "All right, done," and then got back to business as usual. So, and it's been best, and it's the best it's been.
Good. Fear Factory, bringing everybody together. There you go.
Oh, I know, right?
So,
Yeah,
all
100%.
right, so you've got to this stage now. We do this new single, which is a cover version of Korn's "Did My Time,"
Yeah.
which is from the Take a Look in the Mirror album, which I've always felt, in a Korn perspective, was one of their darker and least radio-friendly albums. Was that part of the
Completely agree.
reasoning behind choosing a song like that?
No, no. I love that album too. That's one of my favorites. Like, I'm a huge Korn fan, and I absolutely love that album, and I love that song too. But I did a 30-second cover of it one day just for fun, and then Lee once again saw the video of me covering it, going, "Hey, we're going to do an Echoes cover of that." And as you know, like we have a bit of a tradition in Echoes of doing random cover songs. So we just went, all right, let's do another random one that no one would expect us to do,
But
and it
even
turned out
even
great.
your version of "Did My Time," it's darker again than what
Mm.
Corns is, especially
Yeah.
when it gets to the break 3/4 of the way through the song. I mean, do you think
Mm.
it really lands with how you are as a band and how you are as musicians?
I reckon it does. Because the way we do our covers is I normally just learn the song and I study the production. Like when we did the Marilyn Manson one, I just, studied it on my headphones and then went, okay, here's where the different elements are production wise and music wise. And when I did my time to Lee, he goes, "Can you make the drums heavier? Can you put more double kicks in there?" As if like when Joey from Slipknot played for them live that one time. And he's
Mhm.
like, "Make it sound like if Joey played on it." And I was like, "Oh, okay, cool." So I just put fucking blast beats everywhere, and And then Lee wanted to go dark with the vocals because that's kind of where we're going with Echoes is we start off as melodic and then we've just been getting progressively darker and darker. That's because I like dark music.
Hmm.
Yeah. But yeah, I reckon, yeah.
Saying that you like dark music, and one thing I've always picked up from you throughout your whole journey is that you're very hands on with it all from top to bottom. Like you
Yeah.
don't just come in and then do guitars and then fuck off and do whatever.
Yeah.
Like you're involved in every single step
Yeah.
of what's in there. I mean, what is it within you that has you being so invested in the whole weaving and tying together of the whole tapestry?
Um, guess it's because I know what I want. Like I've got a vision. I know exactly like when we did Funeral World, I demoed the whole album like a year prior to that. So that was going to be an Apophis record. And then when Echoes got back together, it was like we did that EP, and then I was like, look, I've got a whole record ready to go. Gave it to Lee, and he's like, done. Did the vocals one song at a time. And like with the new record we're working on now, I literally started writing that before Funeral World even came out. Like I started writing because I kind of knew, okay, here's where we're going with the heaviness and the darkness, and like with the song I've always wanted to explore more and more. And I was like, okay, this is where I want to go with it. And I just know what I want things to sound like, and I know how I want it to be. And like I've done production at university and SAE and stuff, so I know what I need to get done with it. And I can't be bothered paying other people to do it either. So that's kind of why I've always done it myself, and why I've gone off and trained to do it. Um, So yeah, I just know what I want, and like vocally, I let Lee do whatever he wants. Like, I never give him a song. And go, hey, I want you to write about this, or I want you to sing about this, or do this kind of style. I just give him a song and go, do what you want, and he always sends me back the goods. Like he always just sends back gold. Um, but like the music side, like I know what I want it to sound like, and I've always got like that whole basically like what with the first Apophis record, I know what I want it to be from start to finish as a full album. And I guess that comes from like doing classical composition. Um, and I'm so used to working by myself when it comes to the recording and the writing. So I just know every element what I want it to be. And I can take my time and do these, I do a record a year sometimes, but it takes a lot of time. And if I was paying someone like Jack Hartley or other producers or Andy Kite, I'll be like, oh crap, I don't have a fucking $1 million laying around to do all the amount of work that I want. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, I think you touched on there as well a few things actually, and I don't think people in Adelaide probably understand just how multi-talented you are. I mean, like we
Mm.
mentioned with your previous record, you produce, you write, and you go and play all the instruments. I mean, I've seen in recent years that it hasn't just been the traditional um, musical instruments or metal musical instruments that you do. You've also been playing the trumpet.
Yeah. Well,
Am I right
I
on
actually
that?
started on trumpet before I started on guitar.
Well,
So
there you
like
go. And,
I started on trumpet when I was about seven. Like, and I started on guitar when I was pretty young too. But like trumpet was my first proper instrument, and I did classical and jazz growing up. And then like did high school, did like jazz and classical, and then went to the conservatorium when I was about 19 to do a year or two of jazz. And yeah, that's always been a part of like whenever I do guitar solos, that's where all my improv solos come from. So from this
nice.
studying other genres of music and loving all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, good. I mean,
Yeah.
I suppose some people might not also know as well, and um, that you're also an artist. Like you do
Hmm.
drawings and paintings and stuff. Is that right as
Yeah.
well?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, there's one behind me somewhere that I've done. Yeah, most of the artwork in my house I've done and all that sort of stuff, and like I've done, there's heaps of paintings over the years, and I've always just loved it. It's just another, artistic avenue I can express myself through. Because sometimes, like where words fail, music and art kind of show the real person.
Very nice. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely give you that. All right. So, sorry, excuse me.
no
So, what's
worries.
it like working with Lee? Because obviously he has quite a reputation from his time in Double Dragon, who we both saw last week. So,
Drunken backstage, that was great. Well, as he came up to me afterwards, like, "What are you doing here? Like flogging your beers, mate."
pretty much. Yeah, I
Yeah.
got in that way as well. Yeah, but I mean, what's it like working with him?
Oh look, he's a breeze to work with. Like, he gives me free reign to do whatever I want in Echoes because he knows that Echoes is really my baby musically. Like if I'm doing Echoes, I don't do music elsewhere.
Mhm.
Like I've done some electronic stuff, like Apophis is now an electronic sort of thing, but that's just so that way the metal side and my other type of music are separate. But when I'm doing metal, for me, it's like I can't not have one project. You know what I mean? Like this, it all goes into it. And with Lee, he just goes, do what you do. Like he never really gives me feet like notes, like mixed notes or revisions or like, oh, you should write a riff like this, or you should write a riff like that. It's like, no, Aiden, just do what you do. And then just give me the songs and then he'll just do his vocals. So he's pretty easy. Like it's way too easy at times. Never used to be like we used to come sometimes, be like, oh, we need to write a song like this or write a song like that. But now it's like, nah, fuck that. Do what you want.
Yeah. So obviously, you guys have you dropped this single, I think last week or the week before. Um, you did the album last year. I think you mentioned there that you're already working on the next album. Is that right?
Yep. Yep, we are.
What sort of time frames would we be looking at for that in an ideal
Probably end
world?
of the year. End of the year. Because
Yeah.
most of it's already done. I actually recorded all of the rhythm guitars, the drums, the bass, a lot of keyboard parts and string parts and other this ambient electronic stuff. All that got done at the start of the year. So now it's just literally vocals and guitar solos. And like
That's great.
we've put a couple like little teasers online of a couple of the tracks. So I've got those anime videos that I did there, little teasers of where we're going. So very heavy, but not as technical. It's
Yeah.
kind of like black metal mixed with death metal mixed with a lot of like Korn and Slipknot, like new metal. Because you know, we're big new metal fans in Echoes, so we're always going to have that bit of Korn and that darker side from that kind of music and mixing it with the technical. And, I'm a big fan of like a lot of Korean and Japanese bands, so I always like to bring that kind of stuff in and whatever the hell I can throw in the mix.
Yeah. Will we ever see the band play live?
Yes, next year.
Okay, so that is on the
Yeah.
cards. Okay.
Oh
I
yeah,
mean, you
yeah,
had a
yeah,
lineup.
that's what, yeah, that's on the cards. We've got a live lineup already sorted out, so that's definitely going to be happening.
Okay, that was going to be my next question because obviously I did research and there was a lineup in 2021, 22, and I was like, I wonder if that's the same lineup now, 4 years later. Probably not. So,
Uh, I can't really say anything about that. You have to wait until we actually make announcements. But we do have a live lineup organized, so
okay, nice,
it's gonna be
very, very,
pretty
very
epic.
nice.
Like it's gonna be a pretty epic lineup. So
Yeah. Okay, so I suppose the way I would probably finish this off for you is, how would you describe in a short burst echoes in eternity?
oh, that's hard. Um, avant-garde and art music and metal. I don't know. That's a really difficult one because like we do whatever we want. Like it's musical freedom. Like it's like Faith No More for black metal fans.
Yeah,
It's almost impossible because like we like our night. It's like not. It's just the best of the '90s stuff, but mixed with like weird Pink Floyd and prog influences and doom influences, and then Lee does his whatever the fuck he does in every song because he's just a madman. He's
yeah.
crazy, and I don't know. That's a difficult one to answer, but yeah, black metal if you're into Faith No More.